I'm Cal Gadraj, and let's queer up politics. Tucker Carlson tells Trump, quote, "You have failed," end quote, apologizes for misleading viewers. During an episode of the Tucker Carlson Show, longtime Trump supporter Tucker Carlson sharply criticized Donald Trump, saying, quote, "You have failed," end quote. In a lengthy monologue, Carlson accused Trump of abandoning everyday Americans and showing contempt toward them. He said, quote, "You have not done a good job running this country. You don't care to try. You'd rather run the world or the empire. You don't want to improve Baltimore. You don't care about Gary, Indiana. Rural America makes you sick. Normal leaders would ask themselves why people are mad. What are they dissatisfied with? How can I help them? They're clearly in pain." This was not the first time he said something against Trump. On April 21st, Carlson publicly apologized for previously endorsing Trump, stating, quote, "You know, we'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be, and I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional," end quote. Some observers interpreted the apology as an effort to distance himself from an increasingly unpopular administration while preserving his personal brand. We're seeing this more and more now. Marjorie Taylor Greene did the same thing when she went on The View, and a lot of Republicans are trying to distance themselves now from this Trump administration. But honestly, I think it's just a little too late. They've already, been out there. We have the tweets, we have the screenshots, we have the receipts, how they promoted this man and they put him before everyone else. And now they're backtracking because he's not fulfilling whatever promises, he made to them or, to the American people or whatever. But I think they're just quite embarrassed. But I do think it's just too little too late.
Oh, please, Tucker. Now you're sorry? Now Tucker discovering accountability like it's a new skincare routine? No, bitch. No, bitch. You helped build the circus, sir. Don't act shocked when the clowns start running the shit. Come on. Come on.
That's exactly how I feel. I mean, didn't we go through a full term of this already like 8 years ago? So, I mean, like for them to all of a sudden now join in the last stretch of this, forget it. Forget it.
Let's also remember here, this mea culpa is complete bullshit. Tucker Carlson is not an ally. If anything, he hates Trump because, he started the Iran war, which, yeah. But, he's still a vile person. He still was in on all of the lies. He was still in on the hyperbole. This doesn't change his views. He is not an ally to LGBTQ. He's a long history of hating on trans that he inherited from his father, who's also an anti-trans bigot.
Yep.
And he's going to be tormented for the rest of his life. You know what? We're being tormented right now. And soon, Tucker, soon, Marjorie, soon, all you fascists out there, we're going to be the tormentors. No peace, no reconciliation. You all must pay.
My fellow Jacobins and I are ready to start that committee. And may I just say, the thing with Tucker Carlson that's so interesting is he is a grifter. And you could actually, all the way back in 2003, 2004, he talked on C-SPAN about how you would make a persona, which is exactly the persona that Tucker Carlson is now. He's a grifter. But this is where it gets very interesting. When the grifters who make it his money is tied to keeping MAGA to like him. And he, by leaving Trump, is saying that the MAGA movement is not going to be sticking with Trump. So that, to me, that's the one interesting tea leaf of this is the grifters, the rats are leaving the ship because they know they won't be able to keep their MAGA base. I'm like, oh, this is fascinating. Because no, you're like, oh, well, they'll keep the receipts. I'm like, oh, honey, MAGA's not that smart, dear. I wish.
We have the receipts.
Yeah, but the fact that Tucker's doing this is saying there's something going on within the MAGA movement right now, which is fascinating. I do hope that they all sink on that ship and drown, though.
Yeah, I think it's funny how he said that, he was, for the normal working American. And I don't understand how someone, my father never left me $1 million, dollars. I never had a gold toilet growing up. I don't know, how this normal American thing's supposed to work. If that was normal.
No, that's actually big. I remember the quote he said, about Trump, rural America makes you sick. He is literally using the language that right-wingers normally would use on liberal elites to describe Trump. That's fascinating to watch. For someone who used to report for Media Matters and study the right, it's fascinating to me. To most people, I understand it's boring and he's a crazy person.
Yeah.
Well, and let's just remember, how much that rhetoric harmed folks, okay? That Fox News, his show, and all of that. And no one talks about the fact that at the end, it wasn't even legitimized. It was told that it was entertainment and not news, right? But it didn't matter.
Didn't
They
matter.
already caused the rhetoric to be bad, No one talks about that now. Well, there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.